Hey, it's Torigoth 11, and drafting for the Lost Ones Draft League Season 4 has finished. So here is the roster I'm going to be using this time. I've got a lot of new things that I haven't used before, so I won't be able to show them all on screen. And some of them I do have already, even though I've not used them in draft before. So I'm not going to go in order that I drafted them because I don't remember the exact order. So instead I'll go in their I'll just go in order of where I have them at least. That'll be easier. So first off, I got Mega Charizard Y as my Mega as usual. I was actually planning to get Mega Charizard X this time, but that ended up getting sniped for me before I picked my Mega, so I went for Mega Charizard Y instead. I was going to use X because I just wanted to try something different, and it was my original intention to have that be part of a Dragon Fairy Steel Core. But since I didn't get it, I just went back on Charizard Y since I'm used to using it, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon. Just a general powerhouse that's useful. So then the next thing, this was one of my later picks since it was a lower tier. Typhlosion, which I had to, of course, get because this is the Torigoth Typhlosions, and it's my favorite Pokemon, hence why it's my mascot. So this is the main one I'll probably be using, Minato Buster. Flash Fire is generally more useful since it grants an immunity to fire. And in the case of a team that doesn't have anything I need to worry about using fire moves, or if I'm not bringing anything that's going to be weak to fire, then I can use the Blaze version instead, since Flash Fire is utterly useless if there's no fire type moves being used against me, and Blaze at least has a niche use. Then the first thing that I picked was Mimikyu. Always have to go to Mimikyu first. Always my safety net, plus one of my favorites. So I've got my Adamant and Jolly Shiny Mimikyus here. So I obviously prefer Shiny Mimikyu, and it's my favorite shiny of all, hence why I've made sure to got two of them, one for Adamant and one for Jolly. So, and Mimikyu is once again one of my Z users. Full name doesn't fit on the screen, but it's supposed to be Hummer Akemikyu. So, Mimikyu is one of my favorite Pokemon in general, and one of my favorite Pokemon to use, because it's just a blanket check to so many things. This is going to be one of the main parts of my Fairy Dragon Steel Core. I have two Steel types for the core, and one Dragon and one Fairy, so Mimikyu is the Fairy for it. So, it's just such a safety net against so many things. If something sets up, then I can send in Mimikyu and take it out with a Z move, or play Rough or Shadow Claw and then a Shadow Sneak. It can set up when necessary. Just has a lot of options for stopping things. I mean, it doesn't exactly have a lot of options, but with the options it does have, it can just stop so many things right away that would otherwise be really big concerns. And also, I'll quickly mention that I got sniped on all the good Sticky Web users, so no Araquanid or Rabombi this time. Alright, so the next thing I got, and one of the parts of my Fairy Dragon Steel Core, is Celesteela. So this thing has a ton of options. It could be offensive, specially defensive, physically defensive. There's just so much that I could do with it. And I really don't know what to say about it other than it just can do so much, so I think it's going to be really useful. And I got this time because Zapdos got sniped for me, so I went with this for my tier 1 instead as my bulky flying type, since I wanted something similar to Zapdos, and Celesteela was probably the best thing. Probably overall going to be better than Zapdos, actually, since Zapdos didn't perform too well last season. So I think this is going to work better with the team that I have this time than Zapdos did for the team I had last time. And it was something I was actually considering using last season, but it got sniped before I could get it, so I went with Zapdos instead, ironically. Alright, so next thing, Silvally. This was one of my first picks. I wanted to get Silvally again because it is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in draft because of its versatility. Being able to use any type with it and getting so much coverage outside of just multi-attack, as well as defog and parting shot. It's something that I'll be bringing to every single match in some way or another. Just using different types every time. So because of that, it's one of the most important Pokemon on my team. So I have the Narrative Gundam. A few of them are named Narrative Gundam. Then this one is named the High New Gundam. And I'll probably have a few more new ones. I'll probably start naming them after other Gundams soon, based on the typing. I'm considering naming one Full Armor Unicorn to use as a grass type, but not sure yet. I'll mention that in my prep video for the first match. So, yes, Silvally, another one of my absolute favorites. Next up is Fortress. So Fortress was my first tier 3 pick. I've got 2 fortresses currently, and I'll probably have plenty more after this. So Miss Kobayashi, the generic physical fortress. And then Minato Shield is the specially defensive fortress. So Fortress is really useful since it has access to multiple hazards, as well as Gyro Ball, and being a really great physical wall. Though I think this season it might not be my main Stealth Rock setter because I also have Shuckle. I do not have a Shuckle to show on screen yet. So Shuckle I went for because it was the only good Sticky Web user left. I got sniped on Rabombi, on Araquanid, on Galvantula, and even Masquerain, which was... I really should have been thinking of Shuckle before Masquerain, but I was thinking of Masquerain because Intimidate seemed like it could be useful. Though I think it's better that that one got sniped because Shuckle is probably a lot better since it's also going to be a Stealth Rock setter and it's just ridiculously bulky. Plus Infestation plus Toxic could be pretty fun to annoy people with. So yes, Shuckle was my 4th free pick. Typhlosion was my 3rd free pick. And see, I don't think I have any Trevenants to show. Yeah, I do not. So next up, I'll go over my tier 5 pick, Leafeon. This is probably not the Leafeon I'm going to be using. It's not exactly amazing. I mean, special defense on Leafeon really doesn't matter too much, but still, Adamant probably would have been better. This thing is something I used back in Oraz, which is why it has Retaliate. So I'll probably be getting a better Leafeon to use when I'm going to be using Leafeon in the league. This is just something to show on screen, since it's the only Leafeon I have. So I went for Leafeon because this time I didn't get Superior. Superior actually didn't even end up being too useful last time. And with Charizard Y, Leafeon is going to be really useful with its doubled speed. So it's going to be even faster than Superior. And not really a lot to say about it. I mean, I like a lot of the evolutions, so I can't say it's my favorite evolution. But I do really like its design, at least. I mean, usability-wise, it's probably my favorite evolution because I've always been able to use it along with Charizard Y well. And for my other tier 3 pick, I don't have anything to show. Actually, well, I don't have anything usable, but here's an example of a Haxorus. So, tier 3 pick Haxorus is the final part of my Steel Fairy Dragon Core. This is just the shiny Haxorus that you get in Black 2 and White 2 automatically. So, nothing special about it. I probably will not be using this one since it is only naive. Though it's not terrible, so I could use it. But I mean, the main reason I'm not going to be using this one is because I can't name it. I always want to name everything. So yeah, I won't be using this. It's just an example of a Haxorus. So I went for Haxorus because I needed a dragon for my core, and I also needed a tier 3 pick since Araquanid got sniped. So I went with this since it could be pretty useful. Can run Dragon Dance or Scarf depending on the need for it. And let's see, there's only 2 things left to go over. Let's see if I can find... well, also not something I'm going to be using, but my final free pick went to Trevenant. So, Trevenant, I mean, now I'll talk about it. I just wanted a bulky grass type. And that's really all there is to say about why I went for Trevenant. I'm not sure exactly what I'll use it for, but just wanted a bulky grass type. Oh, I actually have 2 shiny Trevenants. I forgot about that. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to use either of these. Just the only Trevenants I currently have to show right now. And then for my final pick, and my first free, actually second free pick, was, let's see if I have one here to show. Where is it? I know I have one. Well, not the right thing, but it is a Thundurus. So, Thundurus Incarnate was my final pick. I mean, not final pick made last, but final thing to go over. Thundurus Incarnate. So I went for this because I couldn't get Zapdos, and I needed an electric type. So, Thundurus Incarnate, Prankster Taunt, Prankster Nasty Plot, Prankster Thunderwave, Prankster Defog, plus Focus Blast, Superpower, Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, and Power Ice. There is so much that Thundurus can do as support or offensive. So definitely excited to use Thundurus this time. And I don't think I mentioned all the Z users. So Mew, Silvally, and Thundurus Incarnate are my Z users. So matches, I think I'll have them start. I mean, I have not had my first match yet. And I think the matches, the videos will start going up in January. The match themselves, probably going to be starting second week of December, but this video is already going up after that. Since the videos have to be recorded, edited, and then uploaded, so it takes longer than having them up right when they happen. So matches, videos for them will start going up in the beginning of January. And I think that's everything to go over. I hope I didn't miss anything. So, see you next time!